Welcome to the Oracle TV pop-up studio here at the Pagan Federation conference in London. And I'm very happy to be able to catch up with Geri Beskine, who's just come out from giving a talk.
Yes.
Now, Geri, thank you for coming along to the pop-up studio. Could you tell us a little bit about the talk that you've been giving here today?
I was doing a tarot tour of London because I think anywhere would lend itself to the meanings of the 22 major cards wherever you happen to live. But London has got the Wheel of Fortune in the form of the London Eye, it's got the Tower, it's the Tower of London, and so it goes on from there. It was absolutely fascinating to dig it all together because the myths and legends, the genus loci, all manner of things really suited the cards much more than I thought they would.
Now, do you have a favourite Major Arcana card in London?
I think I would have to choose the British Museum because temperance is also tolerance and it's knowledge and it's unbiased and so on. And it's endlessly fascinating.
And that is the British Museum?
And that is the British Museum, yes.
Wow. Now, where would strength be, for example?
I put Trafalgar Square as strength.
The lions.
The lions. But you see, Landseer's lions, famously, are actually modelled on Landseer's dogs because lions don't lie down like that. But it's strength because it was Nelson who, we ruled the waves, all the rest of it. It's indeed a square. It's 110 metres square, I think. It's just so centrally situated for all sorts of exciting things leading off it. And they all give strength to that part of London as well.
So do you think that somebody could go to a certain landmark in London that was attributed to the Major Arcana and do some kind of meditation work or magical work with it, with the energy of it all? Do you think there's a resonance there?
Oh, there's still a resonance there, without a doubt. Things like I chose the Cleopatras Needle for the lovers because Cleopatra and Mark Antony, Shakespeare wrote about, and there's the fantastic film with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, and it is a romantic place to meet in London. It's not that busy, and you don't hear the traffic, and you kind of got it to yourselves, except for occasionally the ghost of a naked man who appears.
Well, a would-be lover, do you think?
Well, you never know. He laughs, he giggles apparently, and then he jumps over and dives into the Thames, but nobody's ever heard the splash as he's gone into the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's a really beautiful way to kind of put the tarot energy into London.
For sure.
Do you think it was deliberate that these icons were put in these places with that knowledge already, or do you think it's...
No, it's real happenstance that I think. I use the South Bank and the Museum of Moving Image, and that's a very modern landmark for us, really. Yeah. But it also has a very ancient thing in that it's only 35, 40 years old, but it has stalactites, because it's built out under the river, and where the seams aren't quite set, it has stalactites. Only museum in the world to have that. It's also at the narrowest point of the river, which is where the Romans used to fall. They just used to wade across. And so you've got the London Eye and the South Bank and the Wheel of Fortune. You've got the South Bank, and then you've got the Houses of Parliament, which I used as for another one of the cards, all kind of looking at each other. And I used A. Waite's versions of the cards because his interpretations are short, sweet, crisp, and they're what Pamela Coleman Smith would have had to work with as well. And I'm like everybody else, I'm obsessed by her. I think she was absolutely fantastic, and she knew a lot of the places that I'm talking about as well.
Now, for any viewers who are watching out on the internet who don't know who Pamela Coleman Smith is, could you explain very briefly?
Well, she was known as Pixie Smith, and she drew the Waite Smith tarot deck.
And this is the most popular tarot deck that's out there. So if you're starting with the tarot, this will be the deck that you come across, the A.E. Waite deck.
And hers was absolutely revolutionary because it was the first one to have every card as a picture card. Yeah. So if you see somebody sitting there with 10 swords in their back, it's not going to be too good for you. She gave you a visual clue to everything, really. Yes.
So she was absolutely revolutionary in what she did in the world of tarot.
Absolutely she was. Absolutely
and even
she was.
Now, she's the first go-to
the first
artist,
pack.
the first go-to deck,
and
really.
Often there's no need to move past it. It really, really, really works. Very fine pack. Very fine
and
pack.
So she's become a bit of an icon, a figurehead for those of us in the esoteric world, because she was so revolutionary and what she did was so profound and is still resonating all these years later. How long is it? When
1910 she did them.
So it's 105 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
reading something that Waite wrote in about 1920, and he said, a woman has done a pack, but there's no real sale for them. Well, he was proved wrong there.
So what do you love about the conference, about this meeting in London like this?
I think one of the things I really like is seeing people you haven't heard seen for a long time, and actually being able to talk with them. All too often we turn up to things to a purpose. This has space to encourage the fellowship of being a pagan, you know, and I really, really, really do like that. The talks are interesting, the stalls are nice to have, it's varied, and it's well worth doing these things. For my Empress, I used Jean Williams, who set up the Pagan Federation all those years ago, because she has that inner grace, she has that stability, she has that sensitivity, neutrality about her, and I think those sorts of things. This is a great monument to a very, very good woman, this place. So I like the scale of it as well.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very, very much, Geraldine.
A pleasure.
And it's been lovely to catch up with you.
It's been lovely to catch up with you.
Thank you for watching. See you soon.